What's good, brothers and sisters? How y'all doing today? Today I'm going to tell y'all the real reason why the Book of Enoch was removed from scriptures. And there's a common misunderstanding about books being removed from the scriptures. All right, so I'm gonna break it down for you real easy to comprehend. The original King James Version was written in 1611. It contained 80 books, right? So there were 14 books removed from the Bible. There's now 66 books, okay? You've got like the Ethiopian Tawahedo, which has 88 books. Even the Septuagint, I believe, has 72 books, if I can remember correctly. Now, the Bible is just some books thrown together. It's not nowhere near all the books. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, they found thousands of scriptures, right? So, one of the 14 apocryphal books that was removed from the Bible, was 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra says that Ezra wrote 70 books reserved for the wise and the worthy, right? Enoch wrote over 300 books himself. So the Bible was never a complete book containing all of Scripture. All right. Now, the beginning of the Bible, it says that the gods made man in their image, right? There's more than one God. The Bible is about the God of Israel, right? It's about one God. It mentions several gods when it says Lord and etc., right? But mainly what the Bible is about one God in particular. So, with that being said, I'm going to tell y'all why books like the first book of... We're going to talk about the first book of Adam and Eve as well. But this is why the Book of Enoch was removed from Scripture. In Genesis 6:4, it says that the fallen angels, they bore children with mankind, and the offspring was giants. Now, you've heard about the story of David versus Goliath, the giant, but you didn't know how the giant got here, where he came from, etc. It was an actual giant, right? So let me go ahead and touch base on the Book of Adam and Eve while they removed that, and then I'll get into the why they removed the Book of Enoch. So the Book of Adam and Eve said that the Garden of Eden was God's home, right? We once lived with the Creator. And we pretty much, the story goes that we were deceived by Satan and we ate from the tree of knowledge, the knowledge between good and evil. Now that tree was not an actual tree. And we know this because Adam and Eve were sad that when they got cast to earth, that they needed food as nourishment for their flesh and blood bodies, right? So our bodies is basically like a prison, and we're in two prisons because earth is a prison as well. It's enclosed in a firmament, but it's more like a reformation camp than it is a prison. All right, and we'll get into that later. But the reason why they removed the Book of Enoch, Enoch was the very first prophet, and you can read that in the Bible. Enoch was the very first prophet. He was also the very first man to not sin and not die. He didn't die. He got brought to heaven in his flesh and blood body. All right. So the reason why they removed the Book of Enoch is that it was too much information. They couldn't just chop it and screw it, because like the whole book is just knowledge. Too powerful of knowledge. And the knowledge is so powerful is the fact that angels bore children with women on earth, right? So that tells you right there that there is more than just the human spirits on earth. There is angelic spirits. Not all of them are righteous, but not all of them are evil, right? And it tells the story of Noah's birth. Noah's not human. He is an angel. And there's a certain group of people out here running around saying that Noah was an albino so that you believe that he was a human, and you don't know that there's the wheat and the tares, right? You've got God's seed, you've got the devil's seed, and that's symbolic for righteous seed and evil seed, right? Noah is the father of the Rh negative bloodline on earth. But then again, Rh negative bloodline is also the fallen bloodline. So you've got the angelic bloodline period is Rh negative. All right. And there's also half-breeds with recessive genes and etc. So your DNA can't always tell you exactly what kind of a spirit that you are. And then you've got the fact that these doctors and hospitals, they don't want you to know who you are. And if they feel like you know, then they're not going to give you your DNA results. And I can assure you that because I've experienced it. I've tried to test my DNA several times, and every time they mysteriously supposedly lose my DNA, and they ask for more, and they say we need to take the test again. But no matter how many times I take the test, they always either lose the paperwork or the blood. Something happens, supposedly, right? So with this being said, there's different beings on earth. Just because you see someone in the flesh and blood does not mean that they're a human, right? Our flesh and blood is basically a prison for our immortal souls. Everyone is immortal. What they don't want you to know is that we're all fallen, whether we're the spirit of mankind or we're an angelic spirit, okay? Our spirits are similar, but not exactly the same. And what's significant is that we are here in a spiritual battle, a war between good and evil. We have the opportunity to become perfect, right? To learn all of the lessons that we can in life, learn from our mistakes, don't repeat the same mistakes, and literally become perfect, join the good force, right? We can't be lukewarm. We can be a hero, and that's exactly why the Book of Enoch was removed from the scriptures. They don't want you to know how powerful you are, and they don't want you to know that there's angelic spirits all around you, right? They don't want you to be fully equipped for this spiritual battle. So one love, peace, and fortitude, brothers and sisters. That's the truth.